I'm not suicidal. I'm not schizophrenic. And there are plenty of ways of determining what devices are being used. Look for flying things up in the sky. Look for wires, or take a look at what the hell is underneath the floor. It's like a concentration camp. Too many deaths. I was raped in 2012 by a creature by the name of Pedro Pantoja in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was born as a product of rape, so too my child also was born as a product of rape. And like my daughter, I was held captive by a garbage, filthy, sellout, liar, deceptive, evil, wicked, fake fraud of a family that are narcissists. They're demons. And they abused me and are basically attempting to keep me as some type of prisoner and to basically be able to kill me off in peace. They set up basically a ploy, fake, fraudulent, like I don't even know what to call this program, and sold me. Mm-hmm. They hide under the premises of Kojak, a Church of God in Christ, and there's nothing godly or Christian about them. They're just evil. In 2017, I was admitted to HCMC Hospital after I was sexually assaulted in my apartment, and I was nearly murdered. It was covered up as a suicide. Prior to that, I was trafficked, and by an individual by the name of Bryson Herbert, who has a brother by the name of Vernon. The entire fraudulent family first alienated me from my mother. I don't know at what point in time if my so-called mother was on board with attempting to sacrifice me or not. But when I was about 13, I moved back in with her after daily ritualistic abuse with the alleged father of mine. I had never had a father, nor did I ever have a mother. I was rendered as a scapegoat. And I suppose people think that I'm weak or vulnerable. Well, the truth of the matter is, I'm not weak or vulnerable, nor do I consider myself a victim. What I do know, though, is that I didn't deserve what they put me through. What I do know is that these creatures would prefer to convince the world that, first of all, it's okay to do this. Second of all, that I'm crazy, schizophrenic, hallucinating, and paranoid. And as healthy as I am, it would be extremely, extraordinarily peculiar if I just end up missing or dead. A straight A student, I cannot focus on my homework, on my classwork because of this harassing devices that are set up probably all throughout this apartment. I know that I'm spied on 24/7 and there's probably cameras all over the place. My daughter is being held captive by Pedro Pantoja, the one who raped me. And prior to him raping me, he raped a 14-year-old by the name of Veronica Vazquez, who had 2 children, one Jacqueline Pantoja, the other one Julio Chavez Pantoja. She was a mere 14-year-old, a child herself. She was abandoned with 2 children. Pedro refuses to actually, fulfill his financial obligation and decided to enter into the USA illegally after he was deported in 2006. For what reasons, we don't know. I don't know. Nobody's ever told me. Um, Anyways, the Minnesota courts, Hennepin County to be specific, gave my child away to Pedro, the one who raped me. My child does have the last name of Pedro, just as much as I have the last name of a rapist. Quite frankly, I'm sick of males who masquerade in this world like they're men when they're everything but. They target 75% of women or children in efforts to maintain control because they see women and children as commodities or resources to misuse and abuse rather than to leave us alone, rather than to get out of our lives and mind their business and go be actual adults. Instead, what they do is they do ritualistic abuse, and they are criminals. They have assistance and support from people who are supposed to be so called authority figures when they're just corrupt and wicked. And that's all that there is to it. They're just corrupt and wicked. So then they'll gaslight you guys in these societies and make it seem like, oh, well, we're just crazy. Okay, that may be so. Being crazy does not mean that you're incapable of telling the truth. My daughter has been left to abusers. The cycle basically repeated, just like how my daughter had disclosed that she was being physically abused in her so called home. I too disclosed that I was being abused, and CPS, of course, did like they usually do, which is nothing, and allow it. This country houses some of the most disgusting, embarrassing, and cowardly creatures who will easily perpetuate, join in, and conform with attempting to kill somebody simply to get money, to get vehicles, to get incentives. And because some others enjoy doing it because they're sick and sadistic. Rather than, being grown adults capable of making rational and clear decisions, what they do is they conduct irresponsible behaviors, create children that they have zero intention of actually raising and keeping safe, and instead they resort to sacrificing them so that they can have a means of having something, or because they're just okay with that. It's a culture of scapegoating and narcissism and wicked. I'm not surprised. I'm not afraid. Disgusted, disappointed. My life and my daughter's life is worth much more than what these so-called fake communities have perpetuated, these fake programs. Fake. No humanitarian. There's no humanitarians here. Altruistic. They are not. They're not a non-organization, nor are they any type of organization. They're criminal organized, yes. Criminal organization, yes. Here on behalf of bettering somebody, absolutely not.